Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I'm here for Peter.
Bruh.
The only Peter she's seen 201 times, kids.
Exactly.
That's right, kids. Welcome back to another episode of The Ultimate Spider-Cast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is
Lilith, quit them if you don't like them. Hellfire.
all of it, leave them hellfire.
I just want to say, I think this is the most cash grabbiest issue we'll ever talk about.
Oh, you mean Spider-Man vs. Wolverine?
I mean, how many printings did this get? Because goodness.
I don't know.
And how did it no sense he get roped into this?
What?
This does not seem like something she would have signed up for.
No,
I mean, but who doesn't want to take a crack at Spider-Man and Wolverine? I'm just saying, and no Senti? What?
She didn't write that?
That's not her.
Of Spider-Man vs. Wolverine?
Yeah, I thought it was.
No, it's Jim Owsley.
Who am I thinking of then? What issue am I thinking of then? I don't know now.
I don't know. Maybe you read the wrong one. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about when those Daredevil issues we did when those two were fighting?
Oh, is that what it was? That's what I'm thinking of? Okay. I
was going to say, Spider-Man and Wolverine didn't have a
this is the one from like 87, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I did read the right one.
This is the one where Ned Leeds gets killed.
Okay, yeah. Fine.
Supposedly, yes. Oh, we'll get there.
There's so much going on in this damn story.
Wait till we get to the new issues.
Oh God, I know.
Speaking of Ned Leeds.
He's back, baby, and that's how I know Betty Brant is behind it all.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, that might not even be Madeline Pryor. That might be freaking Betty Brant in her freaking Madeline Pryor mask for all we know.
I'm telling you, we'll get to Ned Leeds' death here. Can you imagine if they revealed it was Betty trying to kill him?
It's like, I wanted Peter all along. I was just trying to make him jealous, but you know.
Kids, you're here for a momentous occasion. We have the mega drop of Lilith saying, I'm here. I wanted Peter all along. All right. So yeah, it's not Innocenti. They weren't having a philosophical debate about the acts of violence.
I don't know why I was thinking about Innocenti. Oh, because I really want to interview with Innocenti, maybe.
Exactly.
It's just been on my mind.
Can't get you off my mind. All right, let's jump into this because this thing was this was oversized. Then we got a Web of Spider-Man 29.
Oh yeah.
That takes place Oh, hey kids, welcome to the first week of Gobble Gobble month.
Gobble Gobble, bitches! There's your new drop.
Yeah.
Gobble Gobble.
Oh, wow.
A couple of bowls down the gob.
I gotta find my actual turkey collar somewhere around here.
Oh my. All right, so come up here. I've seen wild turkeys on the side of the road before.
I've got wild dinosaurs on the side of the road. I live in Florida. That doesn't impress me, Phil.
That don't impress me much. All right, so yes, the first one, Spider-Man vs. Wolverine #1, from February 1987. High Tide.
I'm not that kind of high tide, but it's okay. It's okay. Can't win them all.
All right, so yes, this one written by Jim Owsley, aka Christopher Priest. That was his pseudonym.
What a hell of a pseudonym, yeah. Plume de Noom.
I'm like, did you guys really need pseudonyms back in the day when before the internet?
Well, I don't know. like didn't he write like he writes like regular books too, right?
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was if I remember right.
Probably. Yeah, I'm writing kitty books. See.
Honestly though, think about it. Like people, it's been only a very recent development that people have taken it as a serious business with the success of Marvel, the
The
MCU.
movies, yeah.
Yeah, I mean even just the merchandise. If it wasn't Spider-Man, Superman, or Batman wasn't good. Now they got Punisher shirts and just Venom and everything.
Yep. Penciler Mark Bright, inker Al Williamson, colorist Patra Scottis, letterer Bill Oakley, and editor. Oh, the editor Ann Nocenti. So Ann was editing this thing. All right, kids, step back. Years ago, Wolverine had come to Berlin to assist his friend Charlie, and the pair found themselves fleeing from Russian spies who want to kill them. With Charlie, whose real name is Charlemagne, injured, Wolverine has to face the mob of spies alone. Wolverine relished this, slicing through the spies, smiling the whole time. With their attackers all dead, Wolverine turns to see that Charlie had disappeared in the confusion. He finds a heart-shaped locket there, a private joke between the two. Wolverine never saw Charlie again.
Yeah, there we go. There's the turkey collar.
God.
Gotta have that loaded for next time.
Now, Spider-Man is web-slinging across New York City, looking to take newsworthy...
He's flipping his way downtown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Beating up criminals. And he's going home to Aunt May.
Yep.
Tap, tap, tapping my way downtown.
Suddenly, Spider-Man witnesses a teenage girl screaming, what else is new, while running down the street. He also notices a woman who is dressed too fancy for such a rough neighborhood, but ignores her to see what is wrong with the teen.
And that's where he made his first mistake.
Exactly. The youth is upset about Sophie and Bert, owners of a local grocery store. Spider-Man swings down there to see what's wrong and discovers that both have been killed with gunshots to the head.
There's been a murder!
In New York City! Spider-Man takes photos of the grisly scene and heads back to the Daily Bugle.
Oh, damn. He's a tabloid. That's a tabloid picture. Jeez.
I know.
He's responsible for all the sensational freaking 80s New York Times, New York Post pictures. Aha!
They don't call him the sensational Spider-Man for nothing.
Ooh. Mind blown.
Changing back to Peter Parker, he is surprised when Kate Cushing buys his without her usual critique of his style. Didn't she? I think she did critique. She was like, "Oh, these are great. How did you take these? Usually they're all blurry, like you stuck it to the side of a wall or something."
Exactly.
J. Jonah Jameson then pulls Peter aside, intending to send him on an assignment for Now magazine.
Not tomorrow. Not yesterday. Now.
They are interrupted by Ned Leeds, who needs to talk to Jameson right away. This allows Peter to slip away as he is running late for dinner at his Aunt May's.
I was just joking about making his way down to Aunt May's house. There we go. There it is.
However, when he arrives at Aunt May's home, dinner is already over with. He spends some time with his aunt and her boarders for a while before he and Mary Jane are sent off to enjoy the evening
Nathan.
together. You kids have fun.
Listen, nobody in Marvel named Nathan. No good can come of that. That's all I'm saying.
Cable would like to have a word with you, ma'am.
Exactly my point.
Oh, burn.
He's bad news.
Oh, please, you'll take Cable all day over Nate Gray.
I mean, it's negligible at this point. They're both made so many bad decisions, and don't even get me started on Young Cable, which I absolutely loathed every second of.
I heard it doesn't do as good in the ratings as regular Cable.
Haha.
The couple catches a movie in Times Square. Whoa.
Yeah, in the 80s? That ain't no Disney afternoon.
Mary Jane's like, I want to see one of those Times Square movies.
I mean, honestly though, Mary Jane's the type. She's the type. She likes to purr. She likes to have fun. She likes to experiment. That's why we love Mary Jane. She's a model. She ain't a model for nothing.
She's
Just saying.
She's the only female in that theater. Hell.
I hope she checked where she was sitting. Hope it's going somewhere nice.
I hope it's going somewhere nice. They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
Oh, they're attempting, but they're getting that sticky web fluid in their face. And I don't mean from Peter.
As they leave the theater, Peter's spider sense begins going off, and he warns Mary Jane to run for cover. Slipping into an alley, Peter changes into Spider-Man just as a sniper begins opening fire on the crowd. However, when Spider-Man arrives on the scene, the police begin firing at him. With a SWAT team arriving, Spider-Man realizes that there is nothing to do, and he begrudgingly leaves. He returns to Mary Jane's apartment, where Mary Jane is waiting for him. Peter paces the room until Mary Jane can't stand it and tells him that he can't save everyone. However, Peter can't let it go, and in the heat of the moment, kisses Mary Jane before leaving.
Idiot. Stay home with your hot girlfriend. Jesus. Uncle Ben will understand.
Well, also at the this is like right before they got married. And again, they were up until like the end of the, at the last second, they're just like, Mary Jane or Felicia? Mary Jane or Felicia?
We all knew it was going to be Mary Jane. Let's be freaking for real.
You can't bring no Felicia home to Aunt May.
Exactly. She's like, this hussy, this floozy. I think she stole the ring.
She need a butt in the front of her shirt. Come on.
Although I honestly, in retrospect, thank God they don't focus on Aunt Anna anymore. But Aunt Anna is the worst. Like, I hate that lady.
What's even worse, like right after the Clone Saga, when Aunt May was like dead, and they like substituted Aunt Anna for her.
Yes, that is why I hate Aunt Anna. Yes,
because she was living with them in Aunt May's house.
Just get out.
And then there was one storyline where Peter kept changing the Spider-Man. She thought he was having an affair. It's like, shut up, you old bag.
Yes, exactly. Just because that's what your husband did to you.
Exactly. While back at the Daily Bugle, Ned Leeds goes over his investigation of Russian spies and points out that all of the recent murders in the city were all Russian spies. He shows Jameson evidence that the killer is Charlemagne, the freelance operative that has not been seen for many years. Ned wants to investigate it further and requests money and a photographer from Jameson.
You want to get yourself killed? Because that's how you get yourself killed, although not really.
Well, keep investigating the Russians.
Yeah, that never turns out good, but anywho.
At this moment, Peter Parker has decided that he should give up being Spider-Man and tosses aside his costume.
I will be Spider-Man no more forever! Again!
For the 6th time. Needing to get out of the city, Peter begins packing a bag when his phone rings. It's Jameson, who wants him to go on assignment with Leeds. Later in Berlin, Wolverine has returned after learning that his pal Charlie is active again. The deaths of Russian spies were a means of sending a message to Logan, who wonders why he has come.
God, it took forever to get to the point, didn't it? Didn't it? That was a lot of heavy lifting, man. Usually they're just like, I'm Spider-Man, you're Wolverine. Want to fight? Oh, no, misunderstanding. Let's get the real bad guy. But God, this was a lot of heavy lifting.
We're pushing an oversized special with them.
I know, like, holy crap. That's what I mean. I think this is the cash grabbiest issue we've ever discussed. I know, because
it's not an annual. It's not a regular issue. It's just like a one-shot. It's like that.
Oversized one-shot.
It wasn't as common as it is today. Come on.
I know.
Walking down the streets, Logan thinks about how he came to Berlin despite the protests from Storm, the X-Men's leader, who is concerned over recent attacks on their group. Wolverine's senses warn him of 2 men approaching him from behind. However, he dismisses that they are Russian spies given their mannerisms. Logan lures them into a trap and ambushes them in the bushes. He decides against killing the muggers and lets them go. However, the Russian spies that have been tailing him reveal themselves by shooting the muggers dead. He confronts the two assassins, but spares them when they leave, knowing that they are only trying to get a lead on Charlie. Logan then returns to his hotel room where he begins meditating. Meditating.
That's what the kids call it. He's like with or without the adamantium claws. I don't know.
Oh,
He heals. He's got a healing factor. I'm just saying.
You got to rub that one in.
Or out.
No, I invented that, you dick.
No, Russell. I will beg to disagree with you.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
The next day, Wolverine continues his search for Charlie. Walking down the streets of Berlin, he pauses by Ned Leeds and Peter Parker, who is investigating Ned's story. Although Wolverine doesn't recognize who Peter is, he identifies his scent as that belonging to Spider-Man.
Uh-huh. Same.
Should watch that costume every so often, kid.
He's an animal. He's wild, like an animal.
Oh my god, I know.
Wild like an animal.
Well, in this era, that's the thing. It's like Wolverine smells him. Daredevil figures it out when he hears his heartbeat. Everyone with the sense.
It wouldn't even be his heartbeat for me, though. I'm pretty sure Peter has a really weird shuffle to his feet. Like when he walks.
I hear his feet sticking to the floor.
Exactly. That like sound like Velcro. Oh.
He wonders what the wall crawler is doing in Berlin and wonders if they are on the same side. Later, here's your misunderstanding. Later, Peter's back in his hotel room, finishing a phone call with his Aunt May. That's when Wolverine climbs into his hotel room through the window. Peter tries to deny that he is Spider-Man. However, Wolverine doesn't buy it and goes through Peter's luggage and finds his web shooters and cartridge
He
belt.
put that well, I guess it's the 80s. You don't really have like TSA. They're pretty incompetent, obviously.
I'm trying to remember. This might be after. There was a story in the 80s where I think it might be after, but he builds like a plastic set to get through like metal detectors and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love how he brings the web shooters, but not the costume.
It's more discreet.
I guess.
It could be anything. That could be a science experiment. It could be anything.
It could be a sex device.
I mean, he is going to Berlin. I mean, it's Germany. If you know, you know. Metal cuffs, they won't question it.
This is some kind of scatological device.
Wouldn't you like to find out?
Well, Logan insists that Spider-Man accompany him, but Peter tries to explain that he didn't bring his costume. Wolverine doesn't care and leaps out the window. With no other choice, Peter follows after Wolverine. Along the way, Logan is convinced that Spider-Man isn't in league with the spies. He tells Peter of his recent encounter with the spies and the dead bodies that ended up in their wake. He warns Peter that things are going to get ugly and warns him to leave while he still can. Peter asks if this has anything to do with the Charlemagne character that Ned Leeds is looking into. Again, Wolverine warns Peter to leave immediately and to convince Ned to go with him. Peter then walks back to his hotel room, thinking about how he made a mistake running away from his problems back home. When he arrives outside his hotel room, he notices that the door is open and that there is the smell of smoke, just like Lilith's room. There he discovers that someone has tied Ned to a chair and
Don't worry, kids, it's medicinal.
Yes, for her glaucoma.
Arthritis, babes. Arthritis.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, someone has tied Ned to a chair and slit his throat.
As you should. As you should.
Ooh. Why? Just because he picked the wrong woman to marry?
Exactly. I mean, that's what happens, man. I'm just saying. Don't pick the right one. Bad things happen.
Let that be a warning to you, Florida men. As he tries to process Ned's murder, he doesn't realize that there are gunmen in the room. When he does, it is too late. The men try to question him in German and Russian. Before they can kill Peter, Wolverine comes crashing through the window. He pulls Peter out through the window. On the street, Logan tells Peter to get out of the country and go back home. Parker then goes to a nearby bus station intending to take Wolverine's advice, but can't bring himself to run back home while Ned's killers are on the loose. Peter then goes to a nearby costume shop to buy a costume. Unfortunately, the only costume he has on hand is a facsimile of his original red and blue costume. This is embarrassing at first, but once Peter is in costume, he finally feels free. Having tagged
That he won't get sued. that's the only reason why they wear masks in the Marvel universe, as far as I'm concerned.
Having tagged Wolverine with a spider tracer, guess he brought some of those. Spider-Man begins following.
Again, little round metal discs that could go anywhere. They're
Whoa!
not going to question it in Germany. I'm just saying.
They weren't on a string.
Well, that's the safe way to do it.
Oh!
They might think he's living dangerously.
Big fan of Spider-Man, I see.
A mess. Rated M for mess. Not even mature, just a mess.
Yes, kids, I'm not as mature as Lilith Hellfire.
Superior puss.
Spider-Man begins following the signal. Along the way, Spider-Man runs into the authorities who open fire on him, but he manages to slip away. Yeah, he tries to go over the wall. Yeah, of course they're going to start firing at him.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall! Wait. Oh, is he there in time to see David Hasselhoff sing at the wall, or no? Okay.
I don't know. This is February 87, so
Whenever that happened.
yeah. No, the wall came down. What was it, like 88 or? Yeah. Following the signal, Spider-Man crashes into a hotel room and finds a young couple there instead of Wolverine. There he finds his tracer attached to a note from Logan. The note warns Spider-Man that he is over his head to go home. Meanwhile, Wolverine has tracked Charlemagne to a steel mill that is a front for Russian spies. There he finds Charlie's handiwork and finds her waiting for him. She is happy to see him, hail, and kisses him, telling Wolverine that it has been a while. She then takes him to her mansion outside of Berlin. There she explains that intelligence agents all over the world are seeking to eliminate her and that there is nowhere left that she can hide. Logan picks Charlie up into his arms, tells her that she doesn't need to hide, and carries her upstairs to the bedroom and right into Lilith Hellfire's hard drive. That's right, kids. Steel bones. Best there is of what he does.
We love a short Canadian king. We do.
Later, at least 15 minutes later, Logan and Charlie go out for dinner. As they are given their meal, Logan's senses pick up poison and suggest that they get out of there. Knowing that they are not getting out without a fight, Wolverine and Charlie are about to fight for their life when suddenly Spider-Man comes crashing into the dining room from the kitchen. Spider-Man leaps over to Logan and Charlie's table where he discovers that his rescue mission was unnecessary. While Spider-Man and Wolverine deal with the assassins, Charlie manages to escape. The pair then leave the restaurant. After putting on his costume, Wolverine explains Charlie's predicament and they begin trying to find her. The pair crash through another Russian spy front, and after incapacitating the guards, they discover that Charlie had already been there and killed more of her would-be assassins. Wolverine has grown more concerned and tells Spider-Man that they need to find her before it's too late. Spider-Man, however, feels ineffectual and wonders why he is getting involved with killers who are killing each other. However, he reminds himself that he needs to avenge Ned Leeds' death. The pair begin crashing more spy fronts, but every time they arrive too late to stop Charlie. Wolverine becomes fed up and blames Spider-Man for his interference, preventing him from stopping Charlie.
Charlie.
I was gonna say, man, we keep saying that name too many times.
We're doing me now.
Wolverine took Charlie to bed. Wait. Wolverine took Charlie to bed.
Why don't you sex me up?
Wolverine goes back to his hotel room. Wait a minute. He goes back to his room to meditate again?
You know, when you have a healing factor, that refractionary period is pretty short.
Wow.
That's probably the science behind it, right?
That's how he gets women. That's how he gets all these women, man. Waiting for Charlie to call while Peter tosses and turns in his because he didn't meditate. Eventually, Charlie calls Wolverine and he meets her at a nearby cemetery. With all her assassins dead, Wolverine warns her that the authorities will be after her. With no other way out, she asks Wolverine to kill her so she doesn't end up in a foreign gulag. Wolverine places his claws to her stomach and extracts his... It sounds like extracts, but no, that would be extend his claws. However, he flinches and his cut wasn't fatal. As he tries to think of something to say before the final fatal blow, however, before he can do it, Spider-Man catches his arm in a web line. The wall crawler is horrified to see that Wolverine is about to kill Charlie. Wolverine tries to tell Spider-Man that he doesn't understand the lives they live and tries to put Charlie out of her misery again. Unfortunately, Spider-Man refuses to sit idly by and watch Logan kill someone. The two come to blows, and Spider-Man realizes that he may have gotten in too deep. Here's the verses part.
Haha, hell. Because I'm in too deep. I wonder what Sum 41's doing.
I think they might be. I think they might be doing that big concert next year.
Yeah, with Blink 182, obviously.
Or is there? I forget how many bands they said. It's like 60 some maybe.
Oh, I hope Bowling for Soup is there too.
I'm trying to remember, they might be, but yeah, there's a big concert in Vegas next
October. Pop punk, early 2000s, baby.
My Chemical Romance.
Oh well, maybe not pop punk then, but emo nonetheless.
With Wolverine going in the full berserker mode, Spider-Man finds himself fighting for his life. However, he isn't willing to just let himself get killed because of his unresolved feelings for Mary Jane.
Unresolved? I'm pretty sure they were resolved, babes.
Oh, he wants more.
Exactly. That's a definitive stance, is all that I'm saying.
Yep. Spider-Man lays into Wolverine and manages to get a number of powerful blows. Hell, Wolverine.
I'm gonna need that as a drop. You can't just glide past that, Phil.
A number of powerful blows.
That'll be for when Justin shows up.
Hey, oh. Whoa.
That'll be his introduction.
Boy, that We Are the Night 100 is gonna be lit.
At least I will be.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Wolverine manages to bowl Spider-Man over and is about to make a killing blow. Hail. Spider-Man then grabs the feral mutant by the throat. Wolverine then calls Spider-Man's bluff, pointing out that the wall crawler could easily snap his neck, but won't because he can't.
He's not gonna kill anybody.
Could he literally snap his neck? I mean, between the healing factor and the
he said he can snap his neck. Doesn't mean he's gonna freaking kill him.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, you're not snapping that neck bone. It's adamantium.
Allegedly.
Hey,
maybe Wolverine just wanted to feel something, bro. You know what I mean? He's like, just do it, man. Just try to feel something, bro.
Punch me in the face. Who is he, little hellfire?
No, not this way.
I know.
I do the punching.
I know.
Consensually, of course.
Trying to donkey punch me now, bitch.
Exactly.
Wolverine is furious that Spider-Man interfered in his plan to stop Charlie from committing more killings. Before the fight can be resolved, a police helicopter appears over the cemetery. While Spider-Man is distracted, his spider sense goes off. Thinking it's Wolverine trying to attack him, Spider-Man turns and punches without thinking and realizes that he has fatally punched Charlie in the face.
Damn.
A wall crawler...
Isn't that ironic?
Don't you think? The wall crawler is mortified by what he has done. Wolverine catches Charlie as she goes down and asks her why she had to do this, as they could have had a life together. She calls him a bad liar and dies in his arms. She died in his arms tonight.
Must have been all that meditating he did.
Must have been something he said. Wolverine realizes that Charlie intentionally used Spider-Man's blow to commit suicide. He thinks about Spider-Man and figures that the wall crawler will be processing this for a long time. Oh yeah, he's going to flog himself with this for a while. Suddenly, they are surrounded by armed men, but when Wolverine tells them that Charlie is dead, they quickly depart. The next day, Peter and Logan leave the country. Parker, haunted by what he has done, they don't say much to each other, and don't even say goodbye. Wolverine understands and doesn't see much point in it. When Peter finally gets home, he gets a call from J. Jonah Jameson, who is impressed by Peter's photos. However, when he asks where Ned Leeds is, Peter can't handle it and hangs up the phone. Suddenly,
He's dead, bro.
There is a knock at the door. It's Mary Jane, who has come to see Peter now that he is back with so many bad feelings. Peter could use a friend and invites her in.
Mm-hmm. Or she invites him in.
Hey, well, both.
Well, two things can be true.
So, thoughts, Lilith Hellfire?
I can't believe they killed Ned in a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell? When you didn't pick it up? They just assumed we were all gonna pick it up.
It was just like, it wasn't. I'm trying to remember. I think they were scrambling at the last minute because Ned wasn't going to be the Hobgoblin, but did they tie this in to say, "Oh yeah, no, he didn't get killed by spies. No, he got killed by the Foreigner because he was the Hobgoblin." Because
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just like, just an absolute mess.
Macendale was too much of a to do it to kill him himself, so he hires the Foreigner.
You gotta keep your hands clean. You gotta be able to sleep at night.
Oh please, Macendale was just scared.
Oh well, duh.
I can't think of Daily Bugle reporter.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Eddie Brock used to work there, so.
No, Daily Globe, not. But no, remember that She-Hulk issue we did on the W?
Oh yeah.
They're just like, yeah. They're like, Jameson, do you like run like an evil factory?
He does.
I created half the menaces there.
Spider Slayer, you say? Did someone order a Spider Slayer?
And I love the one they were just like, and Peter Parker, his aunt almost married Otto Octavius.
Some say that marriage is still valid, and she actually does own that freaking power plant, but it's none of our business.
Oh yeah. So, all right, do you want to get to the Web of Spider-Man issue?
Oh yeah, there was a Web of Spider-Man issue. Let's go.
Okay, so yes,
not as long as that first one though.
No,
hail.
Hail. So never is. Hello, Hellfire. So yeah, Ned was killed in Spider-Man vs. Wolverine, and then his body comes home in Amazing 289 when they reveal he was the Hobgoblin, which we did a few years ago on a previous Gobble month. And this Web of Spider-Man 29, it even says in the issue, takes place during Amazing Spider-Man 289. Does your head hurt yet, kids?
Always.
All right, so yes, Web of Spider-Man 29 from August 1987. Mask. Once again, written by our friend James.
Somebody stop me. Oh wait, not that one. Okay.
No. Once again, written by James Owsley, aka Christopher Priest, penciler Steve Geiger, inker Art Nichols, colorist Bob Sharon, letterer Rick Parker, and editor Jim Salicrup. Peter Parker attends the funeral. Okay, I guess they start with the funeral for Ned. Attends the funeral for Ned Leeds, who was murdered.
Oh wait, you have to say it. F in the chat for Ned, guys.
Aw. Who was murdered while they were on assignment in Germany. As Ned's co-workers pay their respects, Richard Fisk pays his respects from afar.
Richard.
Yes, he is. He's quite the Richard, isn't he, kids?
Sad whistle indeed. I agree.
All right. Who's the bigger loser, Richard Fisk or Harry Osborn?
I'm gonna say it depends on the decade, but this one in particular, we're gonna go with Richard for this deck. For the 80s, I'm gonna go with Richard.
Oh my! Yes. Yeah, I think I have to agree. Yes, it's Richard.
No, I invented that, you dick.
He didn't invent anything.
As the mourners file out, Peter wonders what Betty is going to do now that her husband is dead.
It's like, hey, baby. Heard you were single again.
I know what she wants to do.
She's like, can't you give a grieving widow a little bit of your time?
Oh my.
And by time, I mean tip.
What'd you say, Tip?
Yes, tip.
Oh, wait, you're busy? Okay. Do you know where Flash is at?
Exactly. I was like, anything to stop you from joining a cult.
Oh, that didn't work out.
I know.
Peter wonders. Oh, stay tuned for January, kids. Yeah, Peter wonders what Betty's going to do now that her husband is dead and blames himself for leaving Ned alone to get killed.
As you should. As you should. That is actually an earned floating head of guilt.
Was he going to be in the same room with them?
Don't judge them. When the boys are away, they will play.
Pour out them spider tracers. With everyone else gone, Richard Fisk approaches Ned's coffin to leave a rose.
Oh, what a loser!
Kiss from a rose on the grave.
Exactly.
Seal,
you got some explaining to do, mister.
Mrs. 1995. Oh my god. Tangentially speaking about Seal, did you see Heidi Klum did like a recent photo shoot? Her and her 18-year-old daughter both in lingerie together.
She's German. You know, what are you gonna do?
Man, the Germans really taking a hit this episode.
Well, I can't really go in on the Russians right now, so.
No. Well, yeah, Richard leaves a rose. He is caught in the act by Joey Mercado and Lance Bannon.
Oh, a bunch. This whole you know Ned was a loser because only losers are at his funeral. Like, God.
Oh, stay tuned for December, kids. Lance is going to get his.
Yeah, hell, yeah, he is.
Who asked him to why the son of the Kingpin is here to pay his respects. Fisk tells them to stay out of his business and runs to his car where his friend Alfredo and Dinah are waiting for him.
Oh, would it have been funny if one of their names was Chicken and it was Chicken Alfredo? I'm hungry. Leave me alone.
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Exactly. Phil gets me.
Alfredo points out that it's hardly a surprise that the press are asking difficult questions. He decides to tell Dinah about his connection to Ned Leeds. He explains that Ned Leeds was really the Hobgoblin, sure, and that they both worked together to try and...
Where were the breadcrumbs? I mean, we're just taking their word for it, bro. Like, really?
Well, I mean, once Roger Stern comes back, this is what Richard believed, but meanwhile, Ned was a brainwashed pawn of...
Exactly. Allegedly. Like I said. Yeah. Show me the panels!
Exactly. To try and overthrow his father's criminal empire, realizing that there are a number of loose ends that could reveal his plans and calls his assistants to set things in motion. Meanwhile, Peter stops at a payphone to call Mary Jane and ask...
Oh, what?
Yeah, 87 kids. I'm at a payphone.
That song was way, way out of date, but we'll leave it alone. I guess if he was like Mexico or something, maybe. They still have payphones down there, so.
So call Mary Jane and ask if he can come over. After the call, he wishes he could work out what happened in Germany. Thinking about another hero he can confide in, he realizes the only other person is Daredevil, who Spider-Man is still upset.
He's like, yeah, you're bad at your job. People die all the time around you.
And he knows who Peter is at this point. Spider-Man is still upset with him after his involvement with the recent gang war, which we'll have to cover one day.
It's New York. What do you want from him? It's bound to happen. Actually, they're overdue for some right now.
Oh, my. He finally settles on going back home to talk to the Black Cat who has been crashing in his place for a while. At that moment, at the offices of Kingsley Limited...
Oh, God. This issue just gets worse and worse with every freaking page.
Lieutenant Chris Keating and Roderick supposedly Roderick Kingsley, as we'll later find out it was his twin brother, are arguing.
Who was a scroll? Who was a shapeshifter? Who was a witch?
He was a not so superior puss.
Exactly, I know. I was gonna say, and that witch was a clone.
Keating assures Kingsley that he can go back to being a fashion designer again, but Roderick is concerned that someone could connect them to Ned Leeds and the fact that they framed Flash Thompson for the Hobgoblin's crimes.
I mean, that big dummy really? Somebody really fell for that? Okay. That's on them, honestly.
I mean, I guess he could have thought, maybe they thought
I wouldn't want to frame me neither.
Maybe they thought he was taking orders from the Rose. Who knows? Suddenly, they are interrupted by Mr. Varley and Mr. Johnson, the Rose's assistants. Mr. Johnson? I thought that was Lilith's assistant. They've come to kill both men as part of Fisk's plan to cover everything up. Roderick is winged with a bullet, but Chris Keating manages to escape. The two assassins decide to finish off Kingsley before taking out Keating, which they don't. Meanwhile, in Chelsea, Spider-Man returns home where he finds a note from the Black Cat telling him that she had gone out for the evening. Peter wishes he could have a carefree life like Felicia, but he can't. While in Greenwich Village, Richard Fisk gets updated on the situation with Chris Keating and asks his men to meet him at his penthouse. After the call, Richard admits that he has grown weary of the identity of the Rose and decides that it may be time to retire from the role. Preparing for the next phase of their operation, Alfredo tells Richard that he is overreacting and assures him they'll make sure that Leeds didn't write Fisk's name down anywhere.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
Hours later, Peter Parker is by the pier wondering why he should continue being Spider-Man now that the Hobgoblin has finally been defeated, unaware that he has been found by someone who has been looking for him. At that moment, the Rose arrives at his condo and discovers that Mr. Varley and Johnson had been murdered. As he begins pruning his rose bushes, the Rose vows that he will kill whoever was responsible for killing them. That's when someone wearing the Hobgoblin's costume enters the room and laughs. And we're all laughing at him. The Rose is
yeah.
The Rose is unfazed by. I swear, what a fancy man Macendale is. I mean, he's like trying to pull Batman, like throwing the cape over his face and stuff. I'm just like, okay, player. The Rose is unfazed by the new Hobgoblin, who's prepared to kill the Rose in order to keep his own identity a secret. However, the Rose tells his usurper that the Kingpin has a file that reveals everything and that it has been given to Spider-Man in Amazing 289. The new Hobgoblin decides to spare the Rose as he still has his uses and flies off to recover the file from Spider-Man. Again, Amazing 289. After the Hobgoblin's departure, the Rose has concluded that he is ending his criminal career for good. Wait till the 90s start. By this point, Alfredo has arrived at the Hobgoblin's former hideout. Using his high-tech equipment to get past the security systems, he begins the task of eliminating any evidence that links Richard Fisk to the Hobgoblin.
I bet.
Exactly. Back at the pier,
a little Richard and a little Gobble Gobble. You know what I mean? Goes hand in hand, or other things.
Gobble Gobble. A big unit.
I doubt they're giving Big D energy.
Sucking the life force.
Back at the pier, Peter has decided that he's going to give up being Spider-Man when his thoughts are interrupted by Wolverine. That's right, kids. He's back if you didn't look at the cover. You think they were going to let that opportunity to pass up to put him all big on the cover? Yeah, no. The feral mutant has come looking for Parker in order to settle things. However, the conversation is interrupted by a mugger who threatens them with violence. Wolverine extracts his claws, prompting the mugger's fellow gang members to come out of the woodwork. With a brawl about to start, Peter thinks that he can't deal with this situation. At that moment, Alfredo confirms that there is no incriminating evidence connecting Richard to the Rose's crimes, but is interrupted by the new Hobgoblin. While Wolverine fights with the gang members, Peter is doing nothing to fight back. This leaves Logan to deal with the gang members by himself. As Alfredo tries to flee the Hobgoblin, Wolverine forces the gang members to flee. The X-Man then tells Peter to come with him to round them up, but Peter refuses, telling the mutant that he has decided to stop being Spider-Man. Wolverine doesn't buy this, using his claws to cut open Peter's shirt, revealing his Spider-Man costume underneath to prove the point. Not getting through to Peter, Wolverine runs off to catch up with the muggers. As Alfredo flies in his sports car, Wolverine has changed in the costume and waits for the gang, who have regrouped and returned with more members. However, before they can start shooting at Wolverine, their weapons are webbed up by Spider-Man, just as Wolverine expected. Alfredo narrowly avoids the Hobgoblin's pumpkin bombs and calls Richard to tell him what is happening. Damn pumpkin bombs.
Couple of balls down the gob.
I know.
Exactly.
Couple of
I've
balls
never
down the
cared
gob.
for them.
That's that's Norman's stupid shtick.
Couple of balls down the gob.
Yeah. Or taking one to the chest, you know.
Hey, let's see. Pumpkin bombs, yes. It calls Richard to tell him what is happening. By that time, Spider-Man and Wolverine have finished rounding up the gang members when suddenly the Arranger pulls up in his limo. He tells Spider-Man that the Kingpin would like to see him when suddenly Alfredo's sports car speeds by with the Hobgoblin not far behind. This prompts Spider-Man and Wolverine follow after him. Ultimately, the chase ends when the Hobgoblin blows out of Alfredo's tires, causing his car to uncontrollably swerve into the pier. Hearing this over the phone completely devastates Richard, who thinks Alfredo is dead. However, Spider-Man leaps into the water and pulls him to safety. Unfortunately, while the wall crawler was doing so, the Hobgoblin manages to escape. Later, Wolverine tells Spider-Man what he came to tell him, that the masked hero shouldn't blame himself for the deaths of Charlie and Ned Leeds in Germany. He tells the wall crawler to let go of his guilt as he has too much to live for. At that moment, Richard Fisk thinks every one of his friends are dead and flees down the street, wondering what kind of monster he has become.
The same old monster he's always been.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh yes, in sliding time, because he says they went to West Berlin, so sliding time, kids.
Hate that damn sliding time scale, but what are you gonna do?
Oh yes, kids, and Richard Fisk is being deceived here. As revealed in Spider-Man Hobgoblin Lives, the Hobgoblin was actually Roderick Kingsley. Deciding to take the backseat to his criminal activities, he brainwashed Ned Leeds into thinking he was actually the Hobgoblin. The Hobgoblin and the Rose have been working together since Amazing Spider-Man 258. Yeah, the whole gang war was 280. Amazing Spider-Man 284 through 288.
Oh God, unnecessary. I'm just saying. Want to watch a movie about gangs in New York? Watch Gangs in New York.
Oh God, this gets so much more worse. Nothing here is what it seems. First of all, neither of these men are who they appear to be. This is not Chris Keating, but the Foreigner in disguise. The Foreigner killed the real Keating and took his place, as revealed in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man 129. Likewise, this is not Roderick Kingsley, but his brother Daniel, who has been posing as Roderick on occasion to hide the fact that Roderick is the real Hobgoblin.
It's like a game of 3-card Monty. You
I
know
know.
what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. Let's shuffle the cards here.
Two imposters talking to each other.
Will anybody who is not a clone, a twin, an impersonator, please stand up?
Can you imagine? It's just like two imposters. Neither one probably knows the other's an imposter. I can't hear you over this rubber mask. And Daniel's the twin brother, just with a toupee. So it's just like
flapping in the wind.
exactly. Oh, and again, sliding time. Yeah, Alfredo was on a car phone.
They're all car phones now.
Exactly.
Dang, those things used to be really expensive too.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. So were VCRs back in the day, Love Hellfire.
Oh, I'm slightly too young to remember that, but I do know that the Betamax that we had cost a lot compared to a regular VCR.
I think VHS and Betamax, they were all like hundreds of dollars, I believe.
Hell, DVDs were hundreds. Blu-rays were hundreds when they first came out. Now they're like, they can't even give them away because of like Chrome sticks and stuff built into the TV now, or your gaming console, like technology, man.
And I never had them, but I remember I hear Rob Southgate talking every so often about laser
disc. Oh, don't even get me started on laser discs.
I never had one.
Our school had them, and then I was like, oh, maybe let's check them out. And I got a few, and they were all really expensive. They were mostly horror movies because that was just the best way, the highest quality you could actually watch horror movies on.
Yes.
If you're into the gore like I am, so yeah, back in the day. Laser discs.
Laser.
Finally, good. Can we get to the new stuff? These stories were this one actually I liked better than the oversized cash grab.
Oh, you like the web better?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just I think because just the hilarity of it all.
The layers of
of just like, wait a minute, we gotta backtrack. Wait a minute.
Poor to Robert Downey Jr. I'm a guy impersonating. I'm a dude impersonating, pretend to be a dude playing another dude.
Exactly. It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, surrounded by questions.
I know. I was reading these. I was like, "This is so ridiculous. This is gonna be."
But
awesome.
that's like peak Spider-Man, though. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean, and they're just like throwing stuff on top, storylines on top of each other. It's like, gang.
And you're like, no, this is the foundation of how the Clone Saga happened. Honest to God, it really is.
Because it's like gang war. Ned Leeds gets killed. The marriage. Craven's last hunt. I mean, this all comes within like a year. Like a year.
It's like you didn't get to catch your breath.
And then like 6 months later, Venom makes his first appearance. It's like, damn.
The end of the 80s. Peak Spider-Man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. They knew what they had. Especially once Todd jumps on board.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So, I heard we had some new Spider books.
Well, we'll cover, there was 2 last week and 2 this week. So, but very apropos. Amazing Spider-Man 11 from last week.
Oh. It's still okay, but like, I don't know. I don't know what I want, but I don't want this. You know what I mean?
I did see on Twitter, I think it was Twitter. It was either Twitter or Facebook. Our good friend Ray was even like saying he thought that, well, I think he said last issue, the Judgment Day crossover. He thought it was spinning its wheels and stuff. But
well, it's Judgment Day.
Ray.
Judgment Day has ruined everything it touched. I said what I said.
I was gonna say, sorry, Ray. Tombstone can't be in every issue.
Hell, I'm yearning for the days of Tombstone at this point.
Oh damn.
I mean, not that it was a bad story. It was just like, how much more do we need to know about Tombstone? He was like an enigma and fun, and now he's not as mysterious. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my whole thing. It's like, do we need to know the origin of every character?
When you're spinning your wheels, you do. At least it was fun, and they really made him chew the scenery at the very least.
Yeah.
Unlike Kindred. After Kindred, I just have no patience. Like, if it's gone on for more than 4 issues, I'm like, no, immediately no. I don't want this. I have Kindred PTSD.
Oh yeah, me too. Because I was gonna say, coming back to this Amazing Spider-Man 11 issue, I'm like, I keep thinking, this was the Ned Leeds clone from Clone Conspiracy, but now it's starting to come back to me because the Kindred thing just like, I don't know. I don't remember anything else going on at the time, but I think, I don't know. I guess Ned resurfaced, and they gave him the old Norman excuse. Oh, I'm alive because Goblin Serum, healing factor. It's like, oh, really?
I've done a lot of Goblin Serum, and it doesn't revive me. That's all I'm saying. think that's BS, man.
That's mushrooms, man.
Ayahuasca babes.
I know you're fancy. But now, what you think of this? Yeah, it opens with that super villain Betty, and she's on the phone with Peter, and then we see, oh look, who has the baby? It's the
I really thought that they were gonna. I think they're gonna do it. I think somebody heard us. I think Brian heard us, and then he told his friends that work at Marvel, and they're gonna do it.
Oh my! Charlie told him what we said, and he's like,
Yeah. Charlie told Brian, and Brian told them.
Nobody told Brian.
Well, in this case, do because I need to see that happen. But again, it's Heroes in Cloaks as the podcast that they're listening to in the background.
Exactly. Oh no, Jameson's doing this podcast, and he has 2 producers.
Exactly.
Phil and Lil. Bill and Lily.
Philly and Lily.
So are we? I don't know. I would love for Betty to be the villain, but I don't know. It almost seems like they're setting it up where like Ned's gonna be like, haha, you thought you brainwashed me into being the Hobgoblin, but I pulled one over on you, Roderick. Haha.
Well, it's not hard to do, so it's not a flex. But no, I don't know. I'm so nervous. Like, I think things have just changed too much. That's one thing about like, especially like 80s and 90s like comic book readers. Like, it's just it don't got the same vibes no more. It feels real corporate. Everything feels like a I don't know, a flimsy editorial excuse, I guess.
Well, I mean, just with everything, not even comics, it's like, are we just rehashing old stuff, like the 90s stuff, because it's easier to sell stuff as like a sequel to stuff instead of like coming out with a brand new property and stuff?
Yeah, if freaking Dark Crisis is not the hallmark of modern comics doing this, I don't know what is. Yeah, it's just it's I just want to have fun. Like, just the Spider-Man, I just want him to be like, carefree for a couple of issues. He is bogged down in the minutia. And that's just not what I read Spider-Man for.
I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm willing to give Zeb a chance here, but it's like,
Zeb's doing good with what he has.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that he has an idea, but I don't know if that's the idea that I want for Spider-Man.
well, I'm like, do we need to bring Ned back? And which is, I don't know if Zeb even did, but 2, do we need him back as the Hobgoblin?
I know there's so many other Hobgoblins I would have preferred over Ned. I'm just saying.
I mean, or make a brand new Hobgoblin, and Ned's the reporter trying to uncover it.
Yeah, just justice for Ned. I never really felt right about that. I don't know if I'm just the only one.
Well, they played him so dirty for the longest time. It's like, was he like an abusive husband? And then it's like, oh,
I mean, but when you're married to Betty, I mean, I get her. She's a handful.
She pushed
There's no excuse for domestic violence, but that lady's a handful. She's a cougar, Well, maybe a puma. Either way.
Bring the joke back around. There's a bunch of he gets, you can't blame Ned because there's a bunch of spider tracers falling out of her pants when she comes home.
I hope it's just spider tracers.
Oh.
That's his fault. Well, honestly, like, Betty is a villain because I feel like she groomed Ned, but that's a whole different discussion for another day.
Oh, that's the story. She was trying to groom Peter. She was trying to groom.
That's the villain origin story, much like Professor X and Jean Grey. Just saying.
Think about it. How deadly is a Marvel supervillain is Betty? It's like, I don't put on a flashy costume. You don't see me coming.
Exactly. So I'm saying puppet master the whole time. Turns out she was trained in the Red Room. We can do the whole thing. Just call me, Marvel. I got a whole thing plotted out on my freaking conspiracy board.
Or she's just a run-of-the-mill psycho.
Well, I mean, it is New York. It is in the water. That's why the pizza's so good. If you know, you know.
Because she always talks about like that dead mother. She's talked about her dead mother from time to time. It should have just been like, she's like Norman Bates. Like, no, your mother was dead when we found you. You were just. Yes, mother.
Anywho, yeah, I don't know. I thought that this month's issue was pretty good though.
Yeah, and what do you think? They're teasing us with Peter and Felicia again.
Like, be freaking for real. be freaking for real, people. Not gonna happen.
No, they can both
Like,
be good.
Felicia is, much like Catwoman, is so much better without people bogging her down. Even the Silver, like, I like her dynamic with Silver Fox, but I literally, and I like her with Iron Man and the Iron Cat suit and everything, but literally, I just love when Felicia is on the prowl by herself, just being Felicia. You know?
We're getting that Black Cat Mary Jane book too.
That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I wonder what the dynamic is gonna be. Like, do we know the setup for it?
All we know is it takes place during Dark Web. That's all I. At least
they're like, we dodged a bullet on that one every issue, probably.
at least the first couple issues, I believe, are in Dark Web crossover. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. But and Jeb is doing it, right? If it's not him, I don't know, but
I don't know if they announced it, but I'd say it's a safe bet that it's yeah.
Okay, as long as it's him, I'll give it a chance. I'm not taking it. Look, listen, I'm not taking a risk on new writers anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it.
I would assume that's probably a safe bet, but yes, kids, friend of the show's Jed McKay.
Moon Knight, a guy who runs around in a white outfit, relieving people of their facial features.
Among other things. Yeah, no, I mean, ugh. The Spider-Verse is getting to be a bit much. I think we need to do what we did with Superman, kill everybody, Venom included. Just get it out of there. Miles, go back to your own universe. Like, I'm over it.
Speaking of Venom, what do you think, Venom 11?
Boo? This is not the Venom I signed up for.
Yeah, you know what? I like the thought, like the premise of the story.
If it was somebody else.
But yeah, not for Venom, yes.
Why are we watering down Venom all of a sudden? What the hell is happening here? It's like he makes 2 good, sort of okay movies, and now he has to be family friendly. F that, man.
Well,
if Deadpool can be rated R in a Disney movie, we can leave Venom the hell alone and let Venom be Venom.
I know, a character's around too long, and they, you either die.
It's the Harley Quinn creep. Yeah, I know.
You either die an anti-hero, or you live long enough to
be the hero.
become a Disney princess. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's okay. Like, but just like I said, why are they doing that with Venom of all characters?
Oh, did you see? I mean, you said it's not going to happen, but I guess when they reboot Miles #1 in December, supposedly he's getting a new arch enemy.
Good, because the other one sucked.
What really arch enemies did he have?
I mean, the Vulture. I guess we're gonna count that.
Because he was banging the granddaughter.
Yeah, that's my point. That's as close as we get.
I guess.
His family? I don't know.
As arch enemies?
I mean, they put a lot of stress on the kid.
Go to that school. Yeah, I know.
Just let the kid be. Sometimes, like, honestly, when you put your kids in gifted programs, sometimes it's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. Just saying. Sometimes you just got to let a kid, even if they're a genius, be a kid.
That's right. All right. On to this week. Did you read Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man #1?
I did. This was the book I've been most excited for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I liked it. I don't know if I knew what the hell's going on, but
I don't think we're supposed to know what's going on.
Some weird rock and stuff. Yeah.
I don't know, but I like it. I'm intrigued. It's a mystery.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a chance. No, I liked it so far. It's Peter in California
and like, I like the whole, if you like Doctor Doom, the whole science and magic, like, colliding and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the vibes that I really dig. And demons. And, like, yeah, it's giving me, I feel like they pitched it as a Doctor Doom concept. And they're like, you know what? It probably won't sell with him. But if we make it a Spider-Man story, I think we have something. That's just the vibes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like that. I'm not really too familiar with the writers of the art. Well, I am familiar with the artist, just not the writer. And I really like the artwork. It's like really fun, and it's giving me Toby vibes. So, like, kind of punk and edgy, but like not in a cringe way. So,
yeah, like I said, it's intrigued me. I'm here for the rest of it. I forget how many issues. It's probably 5. That seems to be their magic number these days. 5.
Yeah. I'm here for it. And like it's you know, and I'm like, did they do this, make it a little spooky because it's Halloween time? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, yeah,
It's good for casual readers too. Like I said, I like the blending of the genres and stuff. So
yeah, because I mean, you really don't need to know a lot of backstory. Because, like I said, he's in California, so it's not even like he's in familiar territory or anything.
I did find the narration a little bit over the top, and hopefully the next couple of issues that'll kind of wane down. Like we get it, it's a comic book, bro.
Oh, that is so funny. When Kristen and I were recording Nightwing news last night, she was like we read the new issue of Nightwing, and then we read some New Titans from like the early '90s, and she was like, "Boy, it seems like comic books back then were had a lot more narration in them."
Oh, they did. That's the whole thing. Oh, you know what? Put the death of narration, because it's literally a comic book, and it's a DC comic book that is the death of narration that we could absolutely have a discussion about.
Nice. I was like, you had narration. I was like, I should send you some '80s Chris Claremont X-Men.
Oh my god!
You almost can see the art sometimes.
The art is good. Like, oh, you get to work with Claremont. Oh man, nobody's gonna see my artwork, man.
As long as I get paid the same rate and I get to do less work, okay.
No, sometimes artists really do want, especially if it's an X-Men book. Come on, be for real. That's your chance to get your eyes on it. And they're like, oh, Chris, okay, I mean, all right, we'll work around it.
I know.
But yeah, no, I like I said, I like that book, and I want to give it a little more chance. But you know what's surprising? My favorite Spider book this week was Carnage, number 7.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was about this issue. I just was like, huh. It's I really love like the grotesque artwork, I guess. And like Carnage is just like Carnage is the new Venom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the art's good. Yeah, no. How do you feel about like the like all the Asgardian stuff? And
I like the take on it. It's something different, and they still give me blood, violence, and gore.
yeah, I think if you're doing something different with Venom and Carnage, I think.
Yeah, Carnage is like, remember who you are. You're a symbiote. You don't have to take this crap from humans. That's what I want.
The old Charlie Esser's take on the Incredible Hulk TV show, Carnage. Have we tried killing them yet?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what you want from the symbiotes. Like, let's just be honest. That's what made, the Carnage movie, the second Venom movie, just as good, which is, not saying a lot, but it was really literally on par with the first one. And usually sequels depreciate in value and as it goes on, but I feel like they were pretty much the same movie.
Yeah, in the comics right now, they're trying to make Eddie too highfalutin almost. It seems like
I don't want him to be a hero because he's not a hero. He's
never
going to deserve it.
I'm sorry, but he's not smart enough to be like, the whole time travel, body swapping thing.
I mean, unless they're saying, and even like the symbiote itself that possesses Eddie is not even that smart. Like, let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's different levels of sentience between the symbiotes. So this one's kind of dumb. They're kind of like they're like, ooh, this one pumps weights. I like him.
Yeah, that's like the Carnage book. Either Cletus and the Venom symbiote or the Carnage symbiote, even if they're not in their proper.
They're both very it was a serial killer.
Still on character. Yeah,
exactly. Like I feel like they bond best with with people that they have things in common with. So like it makes sense. So I'm just like, why are we time traveling? What are we doing? But yeah, so Carnage is just not afraid to be Carnage, and like we're doing it in a different setting, which is the setting is interesting to me, like dark elves, and there's, okay, let's try that. That's still action adventure, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole key over Venom, where it's like, we're doing something different, we're swapping locales, but Carnage is still Carnage.
Exactly. And it allows Carnage to be even more like gory because like they're not humans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, are we not? I guess I can save it for Capes whenever we talk comics next. But like, have you been keeping up with Midnight Suns? I've ordered the video game and I'll get around to it. But
no, I haven't. How is it?
It's Doom. So I picked it up. And it's got Blade and a couple others. And it's like, if you're reading Strange Academy, this kind of rolls into it too. It's interesting to say the least. I don't really know what's going on, but it's interesting and it's fun. And, you know, like, Doom is actually being, like, competent. So that's, like, wild to read. A competent Doom, like, gets me so hard. You don't even know.
Whoa, whoa. Say what?
Yeah. You know, next time when I have my camera on, I'll show you what I've been collecting for Doom. And I just, like, you know what? I wish we had better stories for Doom, because his merch is so cool.
I mean,
Reed Richards could never. Like, Reed Richards' merch is not as cool as Dr. Doom's. That's all that I'll say.
Once again, like with Spider-Man, I mean, we should be getting a ton of Doom crap this year. It's his 60th anniversary too.
Yeah, but didn't the Fantastic Four 60 flop too? Like, it did as well as they were hoping. So
I don't think they've ever recovered from taking those couple years off. Thank you, Fox,
for being petty. That's what. Well, Phil, I know you probably like that move, but, like, honestly, as somebody who isn't a hardcore, like, original Marvel, to do that to the first family of Marvel, it's stuck in my craw, and it's still stuck in my craw, like, to this day. And then to turn around and have that terrible movie, like, you should have just done a cease and desist letter, like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that movie was too petty for me, so.
Yeah, they literally just did it because they were running out of time, and they actually had the nerve to put it in a theater. It was crazy. And the Fantastic Four brand just hasn't recovered from that.
No. Do you see they're rebooting again with a new creative team next month, so.
Oh, that's a shame. I really like the team they have right now. Like, that's the thing. I think they rebooted in hopes of, like, getting new audience and stuff like that, but sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what I read. I think the new volume is going to be, like they said, it's going to be like a more sci-fi, like Twilight Zone-y take or something. So.
Oh, so we'll get back to the roots of, like, Mole Man and all
maybe,
that.
Maybe, yeah.
I would love that, actually. I think Mole Man is actually really hilarious. Like, he's actually a real threat when you think about it. Like, I know it's hilarious. Haha, it's Mole Man. He lives underground. But no. It's a reason why the Incredibles villain is a take on Mole Man, so I'm just saying.
Well, they could do with Fantastic Four. I know years ago me and the boys were talking about this for Quasar, but it's like, you know, maybe for the Fantastic Four, have them, like,
lost in time or something.
Visit these Marvel locales or settings where, you know, we haven't had stories at for years. You know, the Mole Man and other dimensions or whatever.
I think it would be really cool if, like, if we're gonna stick with, like, the multiverse, is that when we do get the Fantastic Four, that it's more like a 60s world that's stuck in that kind of technology, and they can, like, pay homage to, like, the original stories and stuff, especially since, you know, Stan is gone. I think that would be perfect specifically for the Fantastic Four.
Heck yeah. Do some multiverse stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember that episode of, you know, the I Love Lucy stuff with Wanda, where people were gaga over, like, just saying. Not for nothing.
Heck yeah, we need to try something.
Just as long as this isn't Kerensky and his wife. I'm fine. I mean, yes, he has the punchable Reed Richards face, but that's all he has going for him. I'm sorry. You made me watch all of The Office, and I absolutely hate him.
Well, did you see who the new rumor was for Reed Richards?
Who?
Tom Ellis.
Shut the front door. Yes. He knows how to play a pompous jackass so well.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I like that. And he's really tall, too. But he doesn't have a punchable face. But if the movie's bad, I can still watch it with the sound off. So that's always a good thing.
I forget who was it. Was it Charlie? Someone was saying, you know, is he a little too good looking to be Reed Richards?
No. Now, let's not play comic book Reed Richards. Comic book Reed Richards can get it. As a matter of fact, original Reed Richards live action, Ian Gifford, can get it all day, every day as well.
Oh, my.
I mean, Sue didn't pick him just for his brain. That's all I'm going to say. You see Namor, so you know Reed is packing something.
Mr. Fantastic.
Exactly. He's like, I didn't name myself Mr. Fantastic for nothing.
Gonna back that up.
So yeah, God, I don't even, you know, it's like Fantastic Four and X-Men are my last hope to actually get into the MCU, because I literally don't care. I mean, even the X-Men don't, like, the X-Men getting a proper send up. I don't know. Even the third Deadpool movie, I'm just like, eh. So yeah, it's like Fantastic Four is the last chance to get me, or I'm definitely never going to be into the MCU.
What about the X-Men?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. But anyway, on that note.
Talk to that AI, Kevin. All right, anyway. All right, so yes. So next week, yes, Gobble Gobble month is in full swing. We're gonna do the
Hide your turkeys and hide your stuffing.
We're back to Mackendale, yes. Go next.
Mackendale goes with mac and cheese.
Oh, he's cheesy.
Exactly.
Next week we'll be covering Spider-Man 6 and 7 from 1990. Yes, a Todd McFarlane production. And then in 2 weeks we'll be doing a Web of Spider-Man 84 through 89. The Name of the Rose.
Boo. A rose by any other name?
When we see Mackendale in that Demon Part Company. And then we're going to get so 90s.
It's going to hurt.
That's right. For Web of Spider, we're going to do Web of Spider-Man 95 and 96 and Spirits of Vengeance 5 and 6. That's right, kids.
Oh, God.
20 plays are going to show up. And Venom, I think.
It's going to be too much to contain, bro.
Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, and Venom. How much more? If only the Wolverine and Punisher were in there.
I mean, you might as well just have a cash register on the cover at that point.
I know.
You just pull the little thing and then like a penny spits out.
Just a gun. Here, give us your money.
I mean, for all those appearances, they might as well have the comic book store owner just turn you upside down by your ankle and say, "Give me your lunch money, kid."
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to reach out. We might have if timing works out, we might have to have a guest star for Name of the Rose because our good friend Justin, our good friend Justin and I were plotting out that project for next year. He mentioned Name of the Rose. I'm like, oh, we're doing it. So,
what's happening?
Oh, so
all of our friends are always welcome.
So if timing allows, I'm sure Justin will probably want to jump on for Name of the Rose. The 90s. All right, kids. So yes, so send your thoughts for all the upcoming stuff. What do you think of the new Spider-Man books? I know Tombstone's not in it right now, but come on. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Find all the social medias for all the shows we do, Marvel, DC, and more coming next year. So follow all the social media for all our updates. The YouTube channel, everything we do gets a video. So smash it. Smash that subscribe button so you get it all.
Smash it.
Smash it like Lilith Hellfire. And of course, the Patreon, most importantly. Again, this is our passion project. Everyone's paying for this out of their own pockets. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you.
And you get to vote on what we're going to be doing for 2023 because we still don't have a clue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. So who's going to vote? Oh, God, Ray Russell and Justin.
Save us. Yeah, become a patron and save us, please.
Oh, God. What's going on? Yeah, that's right. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Scream at! Well, that escalated quickly.
Yes. God, next thing you know, we'll be covering biscuits all in 2023.
My favorite biscuit.
All right, so yes, subscribe to the Patreon or pick yourself up some handy dandy Capes and Lunatics and Capes Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, talking about riding a backglider out of hell, Lilith Hellfire, where can people get a hold of you?
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, and of course on TikTok, making all the comments and maybe some content. I don't know. Come check it out at Lilith Hellfire 69. Duh.
Either do the 6 or do the 9.
No, just keep it 5 at this point. I'm not impressed.
Whoa!
Oh, you don't want to know the things I've done. Let me get a ride on your alligator back, bro. Somebody's muffin's getting buttered. That ain't my business. Don't pull it out unless you're going to use it. That's true for guns and penises.
Oh, and Justin says he feels that energy 100%.
Don't pull it out unless you're going to use it. That's true for guns and penises.
It's the best advice if I ever had a kid. That's the advice.
The Lilith Hellfire cult is growing. All right.
Hellfire Club of sorts, some would say.
That's right, kids. For more of this humor, come back next week. We cover Spider-Man 6 and 7. Macendale will be here. Todd McFarlane will be here.
Talk about your mac and cheese.
Hey-oh, but until then, swing on back.
Thwip, thwip, thwip. Thwip it good.
Gobble, gobble.